Hi guys, I'm Sarah Marschke, Miss World Australia 2019, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
This is unexpected. It's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I have my friend Sarah Marschke with me, who is Miss World Australia 2019. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Adrian. It was definitely unexpected. I had to go mess up the dates. Apparently, we had it planned for like Tuesday or something. Last Tuesday? No, next Tuesday, but I thought it was today, so.
Yeah, so I'm actually supposed to be interviewing Gracie Levy, or Levi, who is Miss Universe GB 2014. She happened to cancel on me because she's in Mexico trying to get back, but her flight was cancelled. So I was like, okay, I'll have, Wednesday night leisurely off. And then Miss Marschke messages me going, are you going to call me? And I was like, what do you mean? So I guess everything works out in the end. But leaving that aside and the half an hour of laughing that we've already had because Sarah's... Anyway, I actually recorded the whole thing, Sarah, so I might release bits of it because I wasn't expecting all that stuff. We've moved garbage, we've moved bags, and Sarah wanted to say, this is the Disney Channel. I don't know why you wanted to say it was a Disney Channel. I've had people get it wrong before, but never to that extent of it's the Disney Channel. I'm Sarah Marschke, and this is my interview with the Disney Channel. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Let's start the interview with, let's say, congratulations. I don't think I've seen you in person. Well, I wasn't up there at Miss World, so I haven't seen you since Grand. So congratulations. You have managed to win an amazing title. So let me take you back to when you won it. Let me ask you, how did that feel?
Oh my goodness.
If you
I
can
still
remember
can't
that far
even
back.
speak about it because I get so emotional. But it definitely wasn't expected. So I kind of went into the competition. I was like, look, I'm going to give this a go. Not expecting to win. I really wanted to make nationals. So basically... It was top 40, I'm pretty sure. And then I ended up making top 40 and then top 10 and then top 5. But the moment of winning, because I wasn't expecting it, I was just standing there shaking when they called the top 2 and it was myself. And this other, sorry. Yeah, Janaea, thank you. And I was just standing there shaking. And then when they called my name out, I just burst into tears and I couldn't stop crying. I saw my parents in the back. They were holding each other crying too. And my brother lives in the Netherlands, so they were FaceTiming my brother. And it was just such an emotional moment, so humbling because my brother's FaceTiming there, like clapping, and my mum and dad are crying. It was amazing. I still think about it and start tearing up because it's like the best experience and accomplished that's ever happened, really.
I didn't get to see that part because the live stream that was planned didn't work out so well. So I think it was someone just on their Instagram just holding their phone. So I didn't know that you had teared up. And guys, I normally say this, but it's been such a hectic sort of last half hour. If you have any questions for Sarah, put them in the comments and I'll pass them on to her because she can't see them. So whatever messages or comments you have, put them below. And I'm getting a call now, which I will ignore. But so how long ago was it, Sarah? I can't remember. It was a while ago now, right? That Miss World was a few months.
Yeah, about 3 months, just over 2 months there. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so I guess the question has to be, how has life been since then? Has it all been the same? Has it changed? I know you're super busy. And by the sounds of it, you need a good calendar or a good organizing system or a personal assistant.
Yeah,
but leaving that to one side, how has life for Sarah Marschke changed over the last 2-3 months?
Look, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of been the same. The first month was just insane, traveling back and forth from Melbourne, shoots. There was so much media. It was amazing to see so many people interested in my story, because the fact that I am an AFL player, they all loved that. And so I got to meet a lot of amazing people. It's calmed down a lot now, but it's still just getting used to. I go out and I've never been stopped in my life, but I remember I went out on the weekend and this guy came up to me and he's like, Miss Australia, Miss Australia. And I was like, what? Who's that? Like, I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you won Miss World Australia. I was like, oh, yeah, I did. And he's
You
like,
needed to be reminded.
Photo? Yeah. Like, I was like, who is he talking about? And then so we got a photo, but it's just, I'm always forgetting. Like, I'll be out with my friends or just out for dinner. I remember I was at a baby shower and a guy came into the baby shower, a private baby shower, and stepped me away. He's like, can I please get a photo? And I was like, why? And he's like, because you won Miss World Australia. I was like, oh, yeah, sweet. Let's get a photo. So it's getting used to that, because I'm not used to people coming up to me and asking for photos all the time. But that's pretty cool. I'm not complaining.
Have you signed any autographs yet? Like, how far is your fame going? What have you been asked to do so far?
I sign a lot of autographed photos, but no one ever wants them. So I just have like a whole pile at home, because hopefully one day someone will be like, can I have a photo? And I'll be like, yes, let me pull it out. And then I'll have a photo for them.
They're not within reach of you by any chance, are you? Are they?
Oh no, it's downstairs. It's my newest cover on Get It magazine, and I signed it.
Why doesn't anyone ever want a photo? That's really sad.
I don't know. No one's ever asked before. Okay. Well, maybe one day. So, I might take a few over to London and just hand them out. Like, even if they don't want them, I'll give it to them.
You're just going to go in the street and start throwing them at people. So if you want to help Sarah out, ask her for an autograph, because apparently no one else is doing it. So it's a bit hard to imagine. I know the pageant scene in every country is different. I've been doing a lot of interviews with the UK pageant girls to bring you up to speed since we last talked, and the American girls. And in both those countries, if you had won the corresponding title, your fame would be like, you wouldn't be left alone, basically. So is it really still life as normal? Like nothing has really changed? You're still the same person?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. There's been times like my friends would introduce me as like, oh, this is my girlfriend, Sarah. She's Miss World Australia. And everyone's always like, what's that? What does that even mean? And I have to explain it. I have to refer it back to Miss Universe and be like, well, it's like Miss Universe, but a different pageant. And they're like, oh, okay. So you don't really, you're not really known for winning kind of the title. Even Miss Universe Australia, yes, she gets some publicity, but nothing compared to other countries. That's for sure.
That's interesting, because over here in Australia, I knew Miss World and Miss Universe were the big ones, and Miss Universe was the biggest one. But from what you're saying, it sounds like you've had a few slightly weird people, by the sounds of it, ask you for photos, but there are. Do the majority of the people you meet not know what Miss World is, or not even know what pageants are here in Australia?
It's mostly the pageants, really. They don't know what pageants are, and when I bring it up, it's always like, oh, they still do that? It's like, yeah, we still do that. And I actually get a bit of criticism there. So I would tell people that I'm into pageants, and they're like, Sarah, why would you do pageants? It's just for bimbos. It's based on looks. Like, why would you want to do that? And it's me having to sit them and explain, to tell them it's more than just looks. It's about intelligence, confidence. That's like the reason why I got involved, was because I want to boost my confidence. I couldn't walk into a food court without panicking, sweating, getting anxiety because people would look at me, like just any public place. And now I can walk in, not worry about things. But yeah, it's kind of a bit of everything, really. It's like, they don't know what pageants are. They think it's just about, I don't know, bimbo. I hate the word bimbos, but they continue to use it. So
how have you, and guys watching on the live stream, I will circle back to your questions and your comments. I just want to talk this through with Sarah. So I guess first off, how does it make you feel when someone comes at you like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that can't, like, if I was in your position, I can't imagine that would feel good, because I know you're intelligent, and to be associated with being a bimbo, I wouldn't like that at all. So how does that make you feel?
Look, it's I'm going to be honest, it's really degrading. But because it's such an accomplishment for me. So when I won Miss World Australia, it's one of the best things that's ever happened in my life, and I like to talk about it because it's such an accomplishment. And for someone to turn around and be like, "Oh, did you win that? I thought that was just for bimbos." It's really insulting. I get extremely insulted. I might say something back usually and defend the title, but usually you can't win with people. Once they have their mindset on that it's just a bimbo thing, I'm not going to argue it, and I usually just walk away.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the best use of your time, because, as you said, once they've made up their mind on it, that there's no point.
Yeah.
Now, some of these might be your friends. Some of them might be my fans. I don't know. But Hooly Wooly, I don't know who that is. What AFL league does she play in? I mean, how would you just go for it?
So let me describe this for you. So basically you have the drafted women, and then you have the Premier League. So I play in the Premier League. So hoping to be drafted. I did want to be drafted in 2020, but that's not looking legitimate just yet, considering I will be in London for all pre-season and then Europe afterwards.
Right.
So hopefully in 21 I can be drafted and play for the AFLW.
Right. Okay.
But I do play. Oh, you're asking what team I play for? The Bombers.
Well, I'm not sure. It's just a pretty brief question. Also ask what headset is that. I'm assuming they're talking to me, not talking to you. So
not really.
This is a Logitech G533. It's a gaming headset. It allows me to cancel out all the outside noises. Now, Jessica Barclay is someone that I just interviewed. She's a lovely girl over in the UK. Miracle Mum. She had a daughter when she was told for 2 medical reasons she couldn't have one. She has said, people want selfies now. I'll have... Well, there you go. Someone in the UK. So Miss World is in London. So Jess, if you go to Miss World, you can be the first person to ask Sarah for an autograph.
Yes.
Well, having said that, she said, I should be at the finals. I've booked the hotel, but can't buy tickets yet. Okay, well, she's already booked the hotel. So this is something, Sarah, going over to the UK, I will tell you, they take pageantry super seriously, but in a good way. And they're really a family. So there's a whole bunch of them that will go together and support each other, even if they have to drive like from London to Scotland, which is like an 8-hour drive. They'll do that. It's part of what they do. So I'm hoping you'll have a great time.
So nice.
Over in London. Hooly has said thank you for answering my very important questions. You're welcome. So guys, if you're watching and you have any questions or messages of support, put them in the comments. But Sarah, I wanted to circle back to something you said before. You said before you couldn't even enter a food court without breaking into a sweat. So was that just general being shy? Was there like a mental health issue with panic attacks, or what specifically were you referring to?
Look, I've never been to the doctors or got it confirmed that it was panic attacks, but I think it's more, I don't know, it's being concerned about what people think. So if someone's looking at me, I get really shy and insecure, mostly insecure about it. And it's like, oh, why are they looking at me? What's wrong with me? And I'll like look at myself. I'm like, is there something on me? Like, what's in my hair? And sometimes it still happens, but it's not as bad as what it used to. Because I remember I had to meet my parents in the food court once, and I called up Mum. I was like, Mum, I'm not going to be able to do it. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, I can't come into the food court. I'm panicking. There's so many people around me. And she's like, what does that even mean? So that's now almost gone. Like, I still get it. It's still a little part of me. But then that's why Miss World has done so much for me, because I can kind of bring that around and be like, Sarah, you just stood in front of hundreds of people at Miss World Australia. You can walk into a food court.
Absolutely. I mean, I should say, obviously, you're very striking when you walk in a room because of your height. How tall are you?
Yeah. I'm going to say 6 foot. I'm literally just under by 2 centimeters, but I'm going to claim it.
Okay, but definitely, obviously, and certainly in pageantry, when you're wearing 2 or 3 inch heels, you're going to be
6'2", I think. Yeah.
You're going to be towering over most people. You'd be basically the same height as myself. So that,
yes.
I interviewed someone. I interviewed Harriet Lane, who again is a UK pageant girl. She's almost a celebrity over there. She's got the Instagram verified tick, and I've never interviewed someone who's had that tick.
Wow, jealous.
She's Miss International UK. Miss International UK or Miss International England? I can't quite remember. I think it's UK. So she's going over to compete for Miss International. She was 6 foot when she was 13. And I asked her about it because I've worked at an all-girls school coaching tennis. And when you're a girl and you're that height, it's very awkward at first. Eventually, when you're modeling and pageanting, it becomes a huge advantage. But did you go through that sort of struggle at all, being super tall, super early, and then basically shrugging and shrouded, hunching over to pretend you're shorter?
For sure. You know what's disappointing is I still find myself now kind of not so much slouching, but I'll lean on one leg to make myself a bit shorter compared to my friends, which is very sad, but I'm going to admit it. But yeah, growing up, I got so much, I wouldn't say hate, but I got teased a lot for it. Giraffe is the main key word that really sets me up. It hurts my feelings. But that's because I got called that growing up throughout school, basically primary school and high school. Yeah, I really struggled, especially the one thing was when guys started calling me it, that's what really affected me. Girls, I don't really care. But when it was the guys, I got really offended, a bit upset about it. And still to this day, yeah, people call me a giraffe. But now with pageantry, I own it because I'm like, yeah, well, I'm tall, but it gets me through pageantry and modeling. So not complaining.
Can you just walk us briefly through that journey? Because that's a huge turnaround to going from my height is a cause basically of shame. I don't know if that's too strong a word, but you get what I mean. To now where you can own it because it is a huge advantage in pageantry and modeling, being that height. Was it something that happened over a period of months? Was it something that happened overnight? Or what was that journey like for yourself?
It was definitely over many, many years. So I started modeling when I was 14. That was kind of a little confidence boost there because I was very tall at 14 and I started modeling, but still it's taken me I'm 14 and I am now 20 and I've only just overcome that. So that's saying a lot. Right. I probably started to, I was quite tall, let's say, when I reached 11. So 11 to 20, it's a very, it's taken me a lot. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's taken me a lot and it's a lot of support. Like still to this day, I might be like, I don't want to wear heels because I hate my height. And my family will be there to back me and be like, Sarah, stop it. Like they're always there to support me. And I think that's most important. Like my friends support me, my family support me. And that's all I care about these days is what they think, not like what anyone else thinks. So I think that's what really got me through it was the family.
I know that there are going to be some girls watching this live or later on with your title, which is massive, and your height and the fact that you're blonde, be super jealous and go, what on earth could she feel insecure about? If there's a young girl watching who's maybe struggling with that side of things, self-esteem or being bullied, or maybe simply what advice would you give them or what advice would you have given yourself back at the age of 11?
Well, I really regret caring too much about it. Like I spent that whole 6 years being insecure, not going out to places, not standing next to certain people or talking to certain people because I was insecure that I was taller. So my advice to you is do not care. Trust me. You're going to get older. You're going to reach 20 my age and you're going to love it because there's no point hating something that you can't change. It's you. And you're going to stand out. And that's just being a Christian. That's kind of my thing. Well, God's made you to stand out. So don't complain. Be thankful. It's you. That's what it's taken me a while, but it's me and I can't get shorter. So what's the point of complaining about it? So Yeah, trust me, you don't want to be worrying about it. Just always be confident, stand tall. That's what I've learned. And now I'm always just completely shoulders back. I just walk so proudly and so tall.
I love it. Jessica Barkley, again, so over in UK. Oh, and by the way, Jess is also very tall. And as I mentioned, Harriet Lane is very tall. And Jessica credits Harriet's only 18. Jessica is, I think, 32, but Harriet, Jessica, to give you an idea, credits Harriet with helping her own her height, like you just said. And I think Jessica is probably about similar to your height, and she was very self-conscious about it. But she has asked, what are you most excited about, excluding the finals? What are you most excited about when you visit the UK?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've never traveled in general, so I'm just so excited to see everyone. And I'm a little obsessed with their accents over there. So I'm just going to be making everyone talk 24/7 to me because it's so nice. And just sightseeing, because I hear that they're going to be taking us to a lot of places and we're going to be meeting a lot of well-known people. So I would love to see the Queen, but obviously that mightn't happen. But that would be something that I'd love to do, or even just go to the castle. Just, I don't know, I'm just excited to see everything because I haven't been outside of Australia.
So this is going to be your first trip?
Kind of. See, I did go to Bali, but I don't really count Bali as much because I was there for a few days and I didn't sightsee, really. I just stayed in the hotel. Yeah.
That's what most people in Bali do. They go over there, stay in the hotel, get food poisoning, and drink cheap alcohol.
Yeah.
It's not really for the sightseeing. Let's be honest.
It's not really. So this will be my first trip away.
Wow, and you're doing it through Miss World. That's got to be something. I don't know that there's many people who would ever say that their first trip was through winning Miss World.
I know. I feel pretty lucky. And the fact apparently I'm going to be over there for almost a month, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Oh, and I've never seen snow. So apparently might get a little snowfall maybe.
Jess, if you are still watching, can you tell us what the likelihood of snow is? I was over in the UK, but I was in Wales, not in London, one Christmas, and it did snow briefly, but definitely not, you can't ski in the streets, obviously. Now, Jessica has said, Harriet Lane is the reason I learned to love my height. Yeah, she's 5'11", and she says it took her 27 years. Tall girls rock, and she's also said heart equals height. So, whoops. Just give me a second. All right. Oh, so Jessica has said pretty much 0 on snow. So you're not getting any snow, unfortunately.
Yeah. I've never seen the snow, but that's fine. Apparently, I'm going to Switzerland afterwards. So woo.
Now. Way back when, I think I told you this, when you were competing in Miss Grand Australia, Rachel Gallagher, who was competing with you and does a lot of stuff with me creating content, she insisted that I interview you. And that's a bit of an unusual thing for anyone to insist. And I asked her point blank why, because I want to know why. And she mentioned there was a lot of stuff that you do that you don't necessarily talk about, including some of the charitable work. And I get the feeling that you're very humble, so you probably don't want to talk about it. Well, you don't brag about it. I'm sure you're happy to talk about it. But can you give us an idea as to who is the person underneath the tiara? Because I do get the feeling there's a lot of stuff that you could talk about that maybe you don't, simply because you might feel it's bragging, which I get. Yeah. But for the purpose of what we're doing here, can you fill us in with all the other stuff that Sarah Marschke does? Now's the time.
Okay. All right. So I have a brother-sister project in South Africa with my brother. So it's all funded from us. We don't ask for sponsors. It's not funded by the government. So we both work full-time jobs to sponsor this project ourselves. we go to Cape Town or the local villages and schools and orphanages there, and we plant gardens for them. I know it's like, gardens, why would you plant gardens when you should be planting like schools and whatnot? But gardens actually offer so much. The fact that it's resources for them, it's nutrition, it offers work for mothers. It gives them an opportunity to take food home at the end of the day for their children to cook. Also, it's gift giving. So every weekend we will fill a whole basket up of fruit and vegetables from the garden, and we'll take it into the town, and we'll give out free fruit and vegetables, because obviously they don't have a lot of food resources, all of the above there. So it's kind of just helping them out. The fact that it's becoming an economy, it's helping so much than anyone could even imagine. So my brother actually started up, and I jumped on board because him and I are actually quite the same person. We just look different, obviously, but we both really care about these children. So we're sponsoring them also, and the goal by the end of the year is to sponsor all the children within a school. So there's about 50 of them. Right. We've been in touch with a lot of people that want to get involved, so businesses that want to sponsor it, which is amazing. So we don't need to go through the government. There's just people out of their goodwill that want to give us this money to give to the children for their schooling funds for the garden. So we're doing it really on the down low. We don't like to publicize it. We just want to do it from the goodwill of our heart. We don't want anyone to think, oh, they're doing it for publicity. Sarah's doing it because she's Miss World Australia. She is trying to be a good person. But we just keep it on the down low, because you don't really need to tell people unless we are asking for help and funds, which we're doing okay now. Maybe in the future we're thinking of starting up a website where you can donate if you want, and just to tell you about the situation there, because there's a lot happening that no one knows about. Obviously, you will see, and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but you see charities saying donate here, and we're giving it to the children in South Africa. But I can guarantee that 50% of those charities, it doesn't get there. It's stopped a lot along the way. So it'll be stopped by, unfortunately, the government. They will take a bit of it, and then it will make its way slowly to South Africa, and then there's a lot of rebels that will take it also, and that means the kids are left with nothing. So I love, and I'm not saying all of them are like this, but when people sponsor children, unfortunately it's not going to the children, it's going to the government. But we take it, I will get the money here, and I will fly over to South Africa, and I give it to the kids personally. It's just the safest way to make sure it's getting there.
Why in particular did you choose South Africa? I mean, obviously it's a worthy cause, but what made you choose South Africa, or your brother?
Yeah. So my brother went traveling last year, and he traveled a few places all around Europe, all around Africa, and he stopped specifically in Cape Town, and he found a local village, and he spoke to the children there, the teachers, and he was just really drawn to them, and they would tell him stories, and it just broke his heart. And he said, I want to help you. So he came back to Australia, worked full time, managed to get enough funds, took it back over to South Africa, developed that garden. And we thought about how are we going to help them? We don't want to just give them money, because you want to build an economy. You want to develop something. So
it sustains itself. So, it's not just a one-off and then they spend it and then it's gone. Yeah,
exactly right. We want to encourage them and make them think, well, we're gaining this money. It's not being given to us. We deserve this money, kind of thing. But that's why he chose it, because he traveled a lot of places for about 6 months, and that's just the place that touched his heart.
Wow. Okay. So that's amazing work. I can certainly respect the reason you don't want to talk about it, but I feel the need to point out that if anyone thinks you started because of Miss World Australia, I mean, your brother started that charity before Miss World Australia.
For sure.
logically, that makes no sense for anyone to criticize that.
Yeah.
Can you give us an idea? I know that I don't quite know how this works, so I haven't asked you, but radio announcing and the other stuff.
Yeah.
So what else do you do? You seem to do everything, and I'm confused. So can you give us an idea as to how that fits in?
Yeah, so I'm a radio presenter. With my busy schedule, unfortunately, I used to run the morning show, speak on Triple H morning shows, but now I'm just based in sports commentary, and I'm based in rugby league. So basically every Saturday and Sunday afternoon, I'll go out to the footy, watch a game live and call it with a couple of fellow commentators.
Yeah.
Because I have been playing rugby league since I was 5.
Yeah.
So I know a lot about the sport, and I was one of the first females. I was the first female on their commentary team, and it's just taken off. Like, they love that there's a female on the commentary team there. Yeah. So I do that, and I recently just called the grand finals. I don't do NRL, I will state that. I only do Canterbury Cup, which is the league below.
Right.
And I just did the grand finals there. I'll call the game, then I'll go down with my media pass and I'll interview a couple of the players about their game. Yeah, just any questions, really. Just have a chat to them.
How long have you been doing that for, Sarah?
The beginning of the year. So before Miss World and Miss Grand and all of that.
So how have you found that? I mean, getting to ask, because obviously as Miss World, people are going to interview you, and then as a commentator, you're interviewing other people. So how does it feel? Like, which one are you finding a bit easier, let's say? Because my general thing is most people are more comfortable one or the other. I'm more comfortable asking the questions. Have you found yourself to be more comfortable one way or the other, or it's 50-50?
It's 50-50. See, I love the thrill of getting a question on the spot and answering it. But I also love, the same time as interviewing, I have to make up the questions on the spot also and be able to respond to that answer and follow with another question.
Right.
So it's extremely 50-50 there.
Have you ever asked a really weird question or an embarrassing question? Because it's like any other skill, you got to develop it. So have you become famous for overusing a certain phrase, or is there anything like with your commentary that you've criticized?
Mine is sometimes I buckle under pressure and I start to stutter. So on the weekend when I was interviewing a player, I was supposed to say, well, congratulations. I hope you enjoy celebrating on the weekend and all the best for your game next week.
Right.
But I ended up saying, congratulations. And then I was like, congratulations on celebrating. I mean, good luck. I mean, good luck on the weekend. Thanks. And I walked off. It was so bad, but it was funny because he was looking at me and he was laughing and I was like, I'm so sorry.
It'd be 10 seconds of stunned silence after that.
Yeah. Because I didn't think about the next question I was going to ask. He just replied something and I was like, oh, I have to ask another question. I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, congratulations on celebrating. And it was so bad. But it happens and it was funny.
Can I give you a tip?
What?
When it comes to interviewing, because I've done over 100 of these, as soon as you take yourself out of the moment, you're gone. It's about staying in the moment and then trusting that you'll know. You just follow the flow of conversation, but as soon as you start thinking about the next question that you have to ask, it's game over, because you're not here and you're not fully there either, and you end up just making a butchery of both. So.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I did, because I was thinking about the next question while he was answering, and I had 2 questions I wanted to ask him, and then I got them mixed up and just ended up saying both. So.
Yeah, done that too. I'm just going over back to Facebook as well. So Jessica has said, pretty much 0 on the snow. But January and February is more likely. So if you're still over there at that time, you might see some snow. Selena Gibson has said, hey. I don't know.
Hey, girl. That's my best friend.
Okay. It just to clarify, it's hey with like 5 Y's and like 3 waving emojis. So it's not hey, it's like hey, like that. And then
No, it's hey. It's one of those.
Okay. And Harriet Lane, who was the girl that I mentioned to you before, was 6 foot at the age of 13. She has said to Jess that she's so pleased Pageant's brought us together. I think you're going to have a good time over in the UK. Pageantry, from what I've learned over the last couple of months, is a family, which is really nice to see, and the girls really support one another. So that is the commentary. In between the commentating career and being Miss World Australia, number one, do you have any free time? And number two, if you do, what do you do with it?
Okay. So I used to have free time. I'm going to be honest. This month and last month, I've had no free time, and I'm not going to be having any free time. But
right.
What I did, I love sport. So I'm a random person. I will go to the gym. My one go-to is go shoot hoops at the basketball court. That's what I literally do for my free time. Or yeah, just anything sport related. If I do have free time, that is. See, it's usually wake up 6 a.m., work until 4, 5 p.m., go to gym, come home, have dinner, repeat.
You make it sound so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my life at the moment because I just started a new job. But before that, it was a little exciting, but not anymore. It's just work, work, work.
What are you working as that requires you to start at 6 a.m.? That's an awfully early start.
Yeah, so it just depends. School holidays. So I'm a disability youth worker. So it depends. Like it's a school holidays at the moment. So it requires me to start extremely early. But throughout the week, I usually don't have to start till later on, which is nice.
Right. Okay. Now, before we head to the close, and guys, for those of you watching, if you have any questions or comments for Sarah, put them in now. But I have to obviously ask you about song lyrics, and because this has become. Why do you not hear the lyrics to any song correctly? I mean, and the ones you come up with just don't make any sense. So far, what have we accumulated? We've accumulated Black Betty, you thought was cracked lemon. Yeah. The one about you're like a glass of, what was it? A glass of what?
Wait. Now I can't remember it.
Well, it was something to do with eggs. Brown eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. As a glass of brown eggs. But what is it? As a glass of...
brandy.
Oh, okay.
And
you know, the thing is, I hear these lyrics, but I just don't put it together, and it doesn't happen in my head. I'm not like, that doesn't make sense. I just sing it. I don't think about the lyrics.
And you are a singer as well. Like you.
Yeah.
Do you actually look at the lyrics before you sing them, or do you just go with your gut and just go, this is what it feels like, I'm just going to sing this?
The terrible thing is I just go with my gut all the time. I will walk into a music lesson and my music teacher will be like, do you need lyrics? I'm like, no, I don't. And I'll just be singing random lyrics all the time. And she's just like, yeah. She just goes with it. She's really supportive of it.
What style of song do you sing? Are you classical? Are you pop? What style are we talking about?
I used to be a country singer, but I've kind of drifted off that, and now I'm more of a soul, jazz type singer.
Okay.
Yeah, so my grandfather and dad were country singers, and they brought me up to be one too. But I like to mix it up a little, so I went into flute.
Okay. All right. Now, before we get to the final 10 questions, because Sarah, I always end with the same 10 questions, is there anyone that you would like to say thank you to or just give a shout out to for supporting you, not just in pageantry, but in life in general?
Okay, so you actually know her, Jade from Miss Grand Australia.
Jade Crystal, right?
Sorry?
Jade Crystal, right?
Yes, thank you. So she's the one all throughout Miss Grand. And also Denny, the one that's in charge of the whole Miss Grand. Those two ladies were the ones that taught me everything I know. So Denny taught me how to walk, how to talk, just absolutely everything. And Jade's just been there to support me all through Miss World. She happened to be at my competitions in Miss World, so she was just there on the sidelines, clapping me on, cheering me on, telling me what I needed to do, how I needed to improve. So I wouldn't be where I am without probably those two ladies.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'm sure she'll be happy to get the shout out. Let us go to the final 10 questions. So guys, if you have any questions, put them in now and I'll pass them on to Sarah. Sarah seems to be, your webcam seems to be steadily getting, I hope it's not running out of battery. Is your laptop plugged in or is it running out of battery?
It's on 50%. That's interesting.
Okay, so we're just kind of losing you, like the video and the audio. It's getting, anyway, just yell. It's fine. We'll be able to hear. Okay, so if you can't hear me, just ask me to repeat because I think it might be the connection that's getting a bit dodgy. It's Australian internet. But question 1 is, what is your favorite word?
Can we come back to that? Can I pass?
We can come back to it. All these questions are going to go in pairs. So number 1 is, what is your favorite word? Number 2 is, what is your least favorite word?
There's so many. That's the thing. And I can't even think of one right now.
Let's leave it in your head and we'll circle back to it at the end. Okay? And I think Sarah, it is the internet connection. It's really, the volume has dropped. So you just have to keep yelling, unfortunately. But question 3. In life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
The thing, I listen to music every morning, and that's the one thing that just pumps me up for my entire day. If I don't listen to music in the morning, then my day is just shocking. So that's the one thing that pumps me up is music. Okay,
perfect. And what turns you off?
Slow replies. If I message someone and they take 2 hours to reply, that would just ruin my day completely.
So how long do they get? Are we talking about 5 minutes? Half an hour?
No. I'm pretty generous. Within 2 hours.
But after 2 hours, it's game over?
You're done. You're blocked.
Okay.
You're over.
It's good to know. A lot of people, I think, will appreciate knowing that. Okay, and we're starting to hear you a bit better now, which is good as well. Okay, so next question. What sound or noise do you love?
Mine is the saxophone. Love it. I just love it. Anything to do with the saxophone. It's my favorite sound ever.
And what sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, that's right. I always talk about this. People that, when they eat, they go, like, I don't mind if you're making, but when you start putting that, that annoys me. My brother does it, and it really puts me off.
Most people just say chewing with their mouth open. You're the first person who's actually made the sound that they make. And I gotta say, it wasn't a pleasant sound. Okay.
Well, I have to be specific, because you can chew with your mouth open, but don't make that noise.
That's actually very tolerant of you. So it's all right to chew with your mouth open around Sarah, as long as you don't make that. I don't even know how you would describe that sound, but I don't really want to think about it too much, to be honest. Let's move on to the next question. If you could have any superpower, what would you pick and why?
I'm going to say invisible, because there's a lot of things I want to hear, but I never can, because, you know, when someone's talking about something you want to listen, but you can't because you're not supposed to be. Yeah, invisible.
I always get a bit worried about the ones who answer they want to be invisible, because they're always the troublemakers. Question 8. If you could try any occupation other than your own, what would you most like to attempt?
Mine would be a professional singer, but singer-songwriter, because I want to experience what it's like to write a song, produce it, and have feedback of people telling you how much it means to them. I reckon that would be really heartwarming to know that you've affected someone's life and, I don't know, brought happiness to them. That's one thing that I really want to do when I'm older. Is just produce a song that touches people's hearts.
Have you tried your hand at songwriting at all yet?
I actually have a few songs, and I was in the middle of recording one before I won Miss World Australia. So hopefully next year, when I have a bit more free time, it will come out. It'll be released.
Can you give us a hint as to like a title or what style or anything like that?
Yeah, it's called Damaged. It's what would be really?
That doesn't sound like a country song. That sounds more like a bit groovier.
No, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's not country. I've tried to drift away from country for my first song release because not a lot of people like country.
It's weird though. I you find pockets of people who like country. I quite like country, not the really, really mopey stuff, but some of the other stuff. I find it quite fun. But yeah, I get what you mean.
I do agree, but it's more. I'm going to say blues.
Blues. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. Okay, question 9. What job or occupation other than your own would you definitely not like to attempt?
Probably a garbage man, because I cannot deal with strong scented smells, terrible smells. That would kill me. It would just kill me.
Okay. So this is not a question I normally ask, but what is your least favorite smell?
Wet, mowed grass.
Really?
Freshly mowed, and it's like sitting there wet, and it has that smell to it.
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that because a lot of people say, oh, freshly mowed grass. It's like my favorite childhood scent. For you, it's like...
No. Terrifying.
Okay, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I want him to say thank you. You have been a wonderful child, because that just means I've been wonderful throughout my whole life. Really. I just want to know that because I am a Christian, so I would want to know that I'm done well by him through my existence on earth.
Perfect. And just before we sign off with the audience, do you want to circle back to the first questions? Your favorite word, your least favorite word. Just make something up. It could be milkshake. I don't know.
Yeah. My least favorite is scucks. So a lot of people use it. You probably have no clue what it is, but it annoys me. That one.
Okay.
You might need to look up the definition of it on Urban Dictionary.
How does one spell? What was it? Scucks.
Yeah, SKUXX, I think, or just one X.
Okay, scucks. And what about that's a horrible sounding word. What about what's your favorite word?
Now I kind of say it in like a little accent, like a twang, but I love the word beautiful. Like if I see something, or I don't know, I just find myself always going, oh, beautiful. Like a real Aussie accent, but that's my go-to word with everything. Like literally everything, a dog, a human, a guy, an older man, like an old man. Like it's, oh, beautiful. Yeah.
That was unexpected. Now, if you are still watching, I believe this must be your brother. Is it Ben?
Oh, what does he want?
Okay, so Ben, we're about to tune out, but obviously because you're the brother and I hear you've done amazing work. He said,
no, brother. That's not the brother.
Who is this?
No work. This one. So who's... I have 3 older brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he has said that he has a question to ask, and there's a bit of a... Between we saying something and them hearing, there's maybe 10 seconds. So Ben, if you have a question to ask, put it in the comments quickly. Otherwise, I am going to let Sarah go. Sarah, you're looking like you're dreading this. Is he going to ask an embarrassing question?
Yeah. He's downstairs right now. I wish I could run down and just grab him.
Well, I mean, you could if you wanted to. I don't know if he still has a question to ask. Maybe he's chickened out. But Sarah, I am going to keep you on the line for just a second whilst I hang up with the audience. And I'm going to thank everyone for watching, whether it's live or on the replay, and submitting your questions. And we will speak to you again soon. Do you want to give him your best Queen wave?
Never done one.
A very royal wave, has he? That's not very royal. That's like you need to, more.
Even in the camera.
Okay, to work on. All right. Okay. Ben has quickly put this in. We'll answer this, and then I'll hang up with the audience. But I'll keep you on the line, Sarah, for just a second. He has asked, "Who's the favorite brother?" And if you don't want to answer it, I can just stop the stream now.
He knows who my favourite brother is. I don't know why he's asking, but Jacob, obviously. He's the one with the project in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really honest about it too. Sorry, Ben. You're cool.
Okay. Let's leave it there before we get lots of hate in the comments underneath. I'll keep you on the line for just a sec, Sarah, but thanks everyone for watching, and we will speak to you again soon. Hey, it's Adrian. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to keep up to date with our interviews, then make sure to subscribe by clicking here. If you'd like to watch some of our interviews right now, then click here, and also make sure to follow us on all our socials right here. Speak to you next time.